Namaskar. Welcome to Women Special Express. Today we have a trailblazer woman who is recognized by the BBC as one of the 100 most inspirational and powerful women across the world. She was listed as the Next Generation Leader 2020 by Time magazine in October month, and she appeared on Time's Asia cover, making her the first para athlete in the world and the first Indian athlete to be featured on the Time magazine's cover for being an advocate of rights for people with disabilities. Barbie celebrated her and her achievements by modeling a one of a kind Barbie doll to her likeness to inspire young girls. Currently, she is the world's number one para badminton player in singles and mixed doubles both. She has received numerous championship awards in para badminton sport and was recently been honored with India's second highest sporting honor, Arjuna Award, for her contribution. Her life took a 180-degree turn within 10 minutes of the accident. But she overcame this tough time by maneuvering her physical and mental challenges. Today, she is recognized as a change maker. She is putting immense effort to lift the spirits of para athletes and disabled people to gain equality. She is not only bringing out real issues in para sports but also finding answers to them. She is a TEDx speaker and an international speaker to inspire many people who are looking forward to coming out strong from their turbulent times. She has completely devoted her life to improving disabled lives and setting up a high standard as a para athlete in the sports fraternity. Let's hear out the story of a software professional becoming a para badminton champion. Let's welcome inspirational, heroic, and a pathfinder, world's number one para badminton champion, Manasi Joshi, on our show today. Hi, Mansi.
Hi, Pranali. Thank you for having me on Women Express. It's a pleasure to be a part of your show. Uh, I'm extremely grateful for you to inviting me here. Thank you.
We are grateful to have you as well. To know, how the software professional is turned into a para badminton champion, and what is the story behind it that we are looking forward to, and how, what was your journey? I know this question covers a lot. Maybe you can just help us understanding certain milestones that happen, certain bad incidences which you turned into a very good ones.
So this begins from I have started playing para badminton since the year 2015. This is at international level. This is almost 3 years after my injury or accident. In the year in December 2011, on my way to work in Mumbai, I met with a road accident, and in that road accident, I unfortunately had to lose my limb. After 45 days of hospitalization, I came back home with a disability, and I for me to I had to relearn everything, right from walking to balancing to just everyday life. It was difficult initially, and but I always trusted in my doctors and my prosthetist and all the people who I'd worked with. They all said that we can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of time. Will Everything is going to be fine. Just balance, just learn how to balance. And so my journey to balance my life began, right from balancing to balancing myself on my crutches or my prosthetic to just right now balancing my life and all the spheres. I have had a great journey till now. I started para badminton. Started playing badminton to quicken my rehabilitation process. In the year 2014, I had participated in one corporate level tournament in Mumbai, which and as a millennial, we love posting our pictures on social media. Similarly, I had posted a picture of mine. I came across a friend of mine who suggested that why don't you play para badminton? He was an international para badminton athlete and was playing the sport since many years. On his recommendation and his insistence, I started playing the sport seriously and nationally. Within a few months, I was selected in the international I was selected in the national team to play international level badminton tournament. And since then, I have been participating and playing. Uh, I was extremely honored to represent India, to carry the Indian flag in multiple places in the world. And I mean, since past few years, there has not been a single tournament where I have come home empty-handed without a medal. I have been training extremely hard in the field of sport. I have left my software professional job, thinking that yes, there will be opportunities in future, but my body or my sport will require my this time. So since then, I've been playing and participating, and I have had great support of my parents, my coaches, my trainers, and also my prosthetist and just everyone around me, my physiotherapist, and everyone who's made sure that I reach where I am. I'm very happy to share that I'm currently world number one, and also in 2019, I had won my first major medal, that was gold at World Championship. I just came back home few days back actually, from my Japan Para-Badminton World Championship with two medals, two bronze medals. And yeah, I mean, it has been a great journey.
Yeah, I know. It sounds so simple when you're talking about it, but there is a lot that went behind it. You know, when you were hospitalized, when you know that your leg would be amputated because there was a gangrene that developed, and slowly it was causing a lot of problems and things like that. So that was a very crucial moment to, trust the system, trust the science, move ahead, and accept what is going to happen. And that itself was a very a very fragile moment in your life, I'm sure has been. I mean, if it could have been to anyone for that matter. So how you handle those moments and how you decided that this is what I will be, but no matter what, I'll come out strong, I'll be happy, and I'll make sure I'm not creeping on this situation, because these are like certain moments, very fragile moments that a lot of people go through, but not all can come over so fast and move ahead. So what was it that you did differently
First
that?
of all, I would like to iterate that everybody can deal with any loss that we go through or we have been through. It's not just like I'm special or something. We all have that power to deal with any loss that uh, be it financial, be it medical, be it psychological, be it emotional. Every loss, uh, we have that power to deal with that loss. It's just the support system that is required to help you navigate that. I had great support from my family and friends. Um and I think without them, it would not have been possible. My parents, my siblings, my school friends, my college friends, they made sure that I was always supported, and that is one reason why I feel I was always looking forward to the next day. It was difficult, definitely, but I had a lot of faith in science. I had faith in my doctors, and I had faith in people around me that whatever they are going to do for my uh, positive or my for my development. It was hard for my family, for me, for everyone around me actually, to go through such a huge loss. But then I think I was able to deal with it because of the support. I also had learned through various, like in a school, you're taught, right? You're brave, you're smart, you're talented, you can do everything. I think I believed in that I'm brave. Right now, only bravery is required. So I was brave, I was positive, and in hospital itself had accepted that this is uh, how it's going to be. There are few things which are not in our hands, and you just can't do anything about it. All you have to do is wait for that time to pass. And human body is amazing. Uh, and science and technology has progressed so fast and so far that there is solution to almost every problem. Uh, I had, I know it was difficult to lose a body part. It's a huge loss actually, but I also knew that. There are prosthetic legs available. I will be able to walk, maybe if not run, I'll be able to walk. And I think, yeah, I mean, I feel if things are not in our hand, which there will be, uh, just have faith. Have faith in, if you're not, if you do believe in some superpower, have faith in that. If you don't, just have faith in time. And we all can deal with, we all have power to deal with any of a situation. If anybody around you is dealing through such any loss or any hard time, what I request everybody who's listening right now is take off time from their schedule to help that person. uh, just help them prepare a meal, help them clean their house, just help them take the children from school to or play school to anywhere else, or babysit, uh, or just help them in any small chores which we feel, which sometimes for people dealing with hard times, it's a huge task. For me, because I had a lot of help from everybody around me, I didn't feel I had to do anything. All I had to do was concentrate on my recovery. And that was my only job, concentrating on my recovery. Everything else was managed. When I came back home, everything else was managed. I had only to learn how to walk. I was getting everything. I was getting a lot of help. When I started going to office also, I was getting a lot of help initially. And that made me realize the importance of support system, and also helped me uh, appreciate the people around me. Later, I didn't require those help. So now I do that. I help people around me. I understand that it's important to be involved in people's lives and your friends' lives. So I try to be helpful in whichever way I can, to just give back. And I think with this opportunity that I've got through sports, I'm able to touch a lot of lives, and help a lot of people. And I think we should just be able to. I think I'm privileged enough to have that grace.
Wow, so well said, and so much of gratitude in that. When you said that you are privileged to, do that, and now you're at even better position to serve the community, to solve certain problems that you are, seeing into the sports area, especially into this, the para sports, where there are a lot of problems involved, where there is a lot of help, there is a lot of sponsorship needed. When we see that a lot of payment differences are also exist with able sports and not so able sports, so a lot of disparity exists and a lot of problems to uncover there. We'll be definitely touching those points, but just before getting there, what is that one thing that you always did to keep yourself for the next day? This day shall pass, this day will come. What is that exact thing that you kept telling yourself that made you much happier, much brighter, that we see it today?
That I'm stronger than yesterday, and tomorrow is going to be better than today, and I'm going to make that work.
Great. So now we can actually try to touch base on the points that, when you enter the sports, that also happened, as you say, like, initially you won the championship or won the sports, with actually playing with the able people. It was not like you were playing with the disabled peoples and then you won that match. You actually won that badminton match where people against you, the opponents were able, and still you could make it through. And that kind of, highlighted how strong you are and, how good you are at your sport. Can you narrate that story?
Let me start this with 2011. In the year 2011, I had uh, participated in a local corporate level tournament, which was organized by my company, which I was working with. And in that tournament, I was like, this is before accident. I had won that tournament. Because I was playing in my school, college, and even after my, even when I was working as a software engineer, I used to go for badminton trainings and practice in my colony. So when I played that 2011 tournament, I had won. It was I was a fresher at that time, and it was like, oh, a fresher girl has won a badminton tournament in Mumbai. It was like, for me, it was quite a big deal because I had come from Pune to play that tournament, and I had made a lot of friends at that time with HRs and other people um, who are who are in the organization. Then within 3-4 months, I met with an accident, and the same HRs, that contact that I had made, helped me a lot in my in helping me with insurance and dealing with multiple office related stuff. After a few months, this is 2012. This is almost 7 to 8 months after my injury, and 3 to 4 months in my recovery, that we had the same tournament, and all the people who were part of that badminton tournament, they knew about that injury that I had been through, and everybody felt really sympathetic towards me. But one of the organizing persons said that we want your help in organizing the tournament. You just bring your badminton racket, you come, we'll do some knocking if you want, but we want your help in organizing if you don't want to play. Because I had said I don't want to play this tournament. But I went anyway to help organize that. And just for fun, I participated. And I won that tournament at the end of the day in women's category. So I was like, wow, this is quite a big deal. All I was doing was playing with my mind, that I knew what can be the shuttle returns of my opponents. I would try and go to that position when I was hitting service. I would try and go stand there when I knew. Like, these are few things that as athlete I had developed. So it was more of mind game than physical game. I was able to win that tournament, and after 2 years, again the same tournament happened, and I again participated just for fun. At that time, I was also I was pretty comfortable in my skin. I had learned a lot. I traveled a lot, and I had accepted how things are going to be for me in future. So I again played that tournament and I again won that competition. And I posted about it that, hey, this is a big victory for me. Yay, I'm having fun. This was my social media post. And one of my friends said, I have an amputee friend who had become friends through a peer support network group of in India. He suggested, why don't you play the sport at international level? And I played a national level tournament in the year 2014. So this is almost 2.5, or yeah, it's almost 3 years after my injury, that I played that national level, and I won a silver medal in that national level tournament. I didn't know how awesome I was in the field of para badminton. I just knew I was good in badminton, but I think I was good in para badminton. That proved I didn't have that kind of movement, but I did have skills. All I had to do was fine tune those skills and make me a better athlete. I got selected for international tournament, and since then I have been playing, I've been training, fine tuning my skills, working on my hand skills, movement, badminton, and I think it's a great journey.
Yeah, and then you never look back after that, and it was, the journey continued to a big level actually. Yeah, some things God takes out from us, but there are, what we say is there are a lot of surprises waiting for us over the path, and we have to account them, and we have to, just surrender at that moment and pass forward. That's what you did, and I mean, a lot of surprises were really waiting for you. And, as they say, like, some people are made for few other things. And when you enter this sports, you found a lot of things that needs to be solved. There were a lot of problems. There were a lot of disconnects. For example, for all the disabled people, the type of help, with the instruments that they have to take. Maybe it's a prosthetic leg that you have right now. For somebody, it's different kind of a limb or anything. It cost a lot, so from there, having the right aid, for in order to continue these sports, in order to excel in those sports, there is a lot of money involved. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of dots that you started connecting, finding the right sponsorships who can train you, because a lot of expenses that you have to incur every 2 years changing these prosthetic legs is not a joke to start with. I mean, I don't know, viewers, if you know, but the cost incurs between 17 to 20 lakhs in India, just to have that kind of a limb. And it's not affordable for many, who are barely running their homes, or who are coming from not so privileged backgrounds, to have that and then move on to it. It takes a lot. So there were a lot of problems Mansi encountered, and she raised a voice for it. She tried to bridge those gaps, and we'd like to know more about that from her itself.
Really, what I have felt is that it's really sad to know that there are like there are schemes in India for people with disabilities to procure devices, but the funding that we get is less compared to the devices cost that we have to bear. And also there are a few background checks that needs to be done, which says how much is your family income, and if you fall between a range, then only you get to access those schemes. But what about people who do not fall, who are also like, if somebody is having an annual income of more than 3 to 4 lakh rupees a year, it's also less, right? So for them, affording a device is also difficult. So I've been talking about it that we need more and more support from government, from local bodies, from uh, donors, from companies through their CSR into multiple schemes where people with disabilities do not have to be burdened with a huge cost on having an equipment just so that they can walk or move from one place to the other. I wish to live in a world where every device is affordable to everyone. Also, there is a huge cost of, there is like 5% GST that we have to pay on procuring this device, which does not feel, which I feel it's unnecessary cost above the prosthetic device. I have recently filed an intervention application in Supreme Court of India to reduce this 5% GST to zero, so that, because we are, why should we be taxed? Prosthetic are not luxury. These are not an item which helps us. It's a basic necessity. Right now, taxing us 5% is like taxing you to pay to walk from one place to other. It is taxing. Nobody else has to pay that tax, but we are paying. To use a road, we pay so less amount of tax in road tax or in terms of toll tax. But we have to pay this huge tax to just walk, which I think nobody else has to go through. So I filed an application in the Supreme Court with Nipun Malhotra Foundation, Nipman Foundation. I've also been very vocal about expenses that we have to incur. Also, as a sports person, the amount of money that I have to spend on training, on coaching, on multiple other small aspects, on prosthetic equipments, because they break quite often. The amount of money that we have to pay is huge. For that, we require sponsorship. I have been very lucky to have found corporates who have found my uh, advocacy as or who have found that they relate to me in some way, and they have been helping me to uh, play the sport. So I am right now supported by Wellspun Foundation and Malcolm through their CSR. I'm also global ambassador for Citibank in India, and I'm also getting support from Autobox, which is a prosthetic provider. So these are like few companies who are supporting me, and I'm also employed by BPCL through their supporting athletes, like a company that supports athletes, and after retirement they can come back and join workforce. So when I decided to leave my job, I didn't know that such things could be used for para sports too. But I'm fortunate that companies are now changing how they view sports, how they view athletes, and how and their recruitment policies are also changing, where they are honoring all the athletes and all their abilities. So I think with time I'm able to see that change, and I think if I would not have pursued the sport, I I how much ever advocacy I would have done in having a software job or anything, I think it would have been very minimum, and I'm very fortunate enough to be a part of the change right now. Finances definitely are a concern for athletes with disability, but I think they can get a lot of support from the local MPs and MLAs, from corporates through their CSR, and also from multiple other NGOs and organizations who are working in this field. So I think the gap is now getting bridged a little. Of course, there's a huge gap to bridge and multiple bridges to be built. But I'm happy to see the change. I wish to see the change at a very, very quick pace, but I wish it happens pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's wonderful that, a lot of hands came together, and build the sponsorship, and, your sports could be continued. But we are looking at a very cream layer of athletes, who are disabled and getting that kind of sponsorship. What happens to those, after a certain point cannot play, or, they run into multiple injuries, and then they just have to stop the sports. This happens to anyone into the sports, because their career can be short-lived with such kind of accidents, the physical accidents that they have to meet during the sports or during the training, or whatever may be the reason. Then what happens to them? How their life supposed to continue? What is their retirement looks like? And how their sustainment model, in order to continue their life. Right now, we are looking at normal person who is having, who is in good shape, who has kind of acquired will to, manage their retirement, to manage their own living, medicines, and things like that. But for the disabled people, it's a complete different story. They are struggling just to stand on their feet. They're just struggling just to live their days, and, continued support for those high expensive medicines. So what is that it looks like, and what is that, it's a very scary thought to give, but have to be given, and figuring out, as a society, as a community, what we can do to make this better. Will there be any health insurance plans that can accommodate? Will there be any kind of different support system that will come on their way and, help take care of these issues? Would you like to brief about it?
I think it is scary, as you said it, uh, as not every athlete with disability gets that kind of support. Um, like I'll tell you this, that BPCL was an organization, first petroleum organization to recruit an athlete with disability on sports quota. This was in 2019, and I would want to see more and more organizations to have that kind of schemes. But then, because of COVID, or I don't know what happened, we have not been able to see any recruitment processes by PSUs or by other organizations through sports quota for athletes with disability. There are government organizations like state governments who employ athletes with disability, but these are the top athletes. What happens to the rest of the athletes? Well, it is difficult to see that right now there are not much jobs open. But I'll also tell you that as a disabled person, we do have schemes in the government where there is 4% job reservation quotas in government organizations. So if it's not through sports quota, what I want is that athletes uh, get a recruitment, like find a job opportunity through disability quota also. I had recently undergone an injury. I understand that, a career in the field of sports can be short-lived. There are times when you think of quitting as your disability is one of the reason, like you don't want your disability to be a burden on yourself after having such, after learning how to navigate through it, especially after an injury. So it's scary, but I do wish to see more and more change in the field of recruitment, especially of athletes with disability who play international tournament or win medals there or something on that front.
Yeah, let's hope through this we shed the light on some major issues, that can be, considered. And it's not just for the athletes, but there are a lot of other people who are having different skills but need this help. And, let's see how broad the channels can open. And as you rightly said, currently inclusiveness is a part of all the globe movement, and everywhere, whether it's a gender biased and things like that, everybody is coming together, and we are making this one inclusive place as a world. And it's a fascinating to see that, these issues are solving at a very fast speed, and I'm just hopeful that these things will also solve, and for you and your other athletes, disabled athletes, they see a better life for their retirement, and also for the normal people doing the jobs, they get the support through their job system. And, although a lot of private people or the private companies are not giving the pension plans or things like that. But for these people, we have to accommodate because their expenses just to have these procurement devices or the limbs that they have to carry throughout will get covered. Their expensive medicines get covered, and we are just hopeful to have these kind of policies and accommodations to be done. Other than that, Mansi, other part that comes with this sport is they're not being paid equally. We just now saw that in Indian cricket board, they announced that women cricket and the male cricket players will get equally paid at certain levels. Their levels will be matched and their salaries will be matched. So we are trying to close down the gaps between the gender differences. How about this able and not so able sports? The same year when PV Sindhu won the badminton championship, you were also one of the gold medalists who brought another championship to the India. What happens then? They still had a disparity in what kind of prize money was given, how the sponsorships were taken further, and how things went. So that was a very clear difference between the paid part that we saw, and it is always been there. What can we do to close this gap?
I'm very happy that BCCI has announced equal match fees for male and female athletes who are cricketers. It is. I'm very happy that this is the first step in India in the field of sports to bridge that kind of gap. Unfortunately, in the field of para sports, there is a huge disparity. We as athletes with disabilities, like when we play or when we win a tournament, we do not get prize money. Most of the badminton players, they do get prize money, but we do not. It's unfortunate that our sport is not a part of it right now, and people, whoever are, I wish to see that change happening. Also, in terms of prize money, yes, I mean, I have not been paid any, like even in the minuscule amount of what my counterparts have received, any of that kind of prize money. Uh, when we talk about it, it will always sound as if they are doing it for money. But no, it's not for money. It's for equality that we all want. Um, it's just sad to see that the medal that we all bring for the country gets looked down if it's for uh, different sports or if it is for para sport. And I wish to bridge, I want to see that bridging happening in my generation, in my time of playing. I also want to play a sport. I'm putting extreme amount of hard work with multiple issues, and I still have to fight for my rights as of now. Uh, I have to still keep on talking about it at multiple forums. I don't think it's my job to do it. My only job was to play. My only job was to excel in my sport. But I have to be vocal about it because there is this gap. I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish there was somebody else who was fighting or helping us in this. But then, unfortunately, it's not. It's you as an athlete individually. You have to do about. You have to talk about it on your own. You have to fight the negative stereotypes that comes through this. That women speak a lot, or women are keep always asking for too much, or they should just be thankful of what they are getting. At least she's getting to play. At least she's able to represent the country. So I mean, that is one attitude barriers that we have to fight. I wish to see. I mean, I think in this conversation that we are having since past 3 to 4 questions, I'm just saying I wish to see this kind of a change, which means that we do not have those things implemented as of now. But yes, as a hopeful and a positive person, I wish to see that change where uh, we have equal recognition, equal prize money, and equal treatment when we are standing on the same podium, winning the same medal, and at the same time, the same national anthem is being sung for us.
That's so true, and I wish to see that change happening. I wish, And I'm so glad that we brought up this on the Women Special Express platform. And whoever is tuning in, whoever is listening to this, and whoever can be the change makers to make this work, whoever can help raising this kind of voice along with Mansi and other disabled athletes, please, we need the channel, we need the media to cover it. We need some kind of help to, get into these rights. And I'm very sure as anybody can, empathize what these people are doing. It's for them, it's a mental game and also a physical game. They have to develop so much. As you could see, people have to learn to, walk with the new devices that they're getting, and new procurement that is happening. They have to change their devices, or they have to change their procurement every year or two, as and when their weight or inches they are losing or gaining. There is a lot of complexity that it involves, and there is a lot that they have to relearn at every point of time. So I think they're putting a lot, they're putting a lot of things at a stake for representing their countries internationally. And at least for those players, we have to consider being inclusive. When we are talking about this inclusive world and, whole consideration, this part should not be neglected. In fact, they are the ones who need most money. They're the, they are the figures, inspirational figures that we brought onto the podiums at certain events to inspire kids, to inspire schools, to inspire MBA students. And, they're getting big, big platforms, but at the cost of what? They're not getting the cost that they're supposed to have, even to expend on their medicines or whatever help that they need in their life. So this is a big disparity and it needs to be solved. Other than that, Mansi, when we talk about, you have been represented multiple forums, you have been talking as an inspirational, uh, to lot many. You have been on the TEDx platform, you have been onto the international platforms. You are the ones who are the Time Magazine cover page athlete, the first one from India to represent in, this space, and first one into the para-badminton space. So, people are looking up to you as an inspiration, but beneath that, there is a lot that goes on. A lot of charitable models are getting developed. People are asking you, can you please help us bring up this charity? We want to do this and that. But what are the pitfalls that you also observe along with that in the system? People who wants to do good, but what are the gaps that you still see? That, what exactly help is needed to be reached to the people that who need it, versus what exact help that is being provided, and how we can solve this problem.
I think there are multiple that gaps that needs to be filled. First is equipment and aid. Second is health insurance needs to cover these equipment and aid. I feel right now our insurances, they do not cover our prosthetic equipment. Even if they get damaged, we have to buy a new one. Like your 5 lakh rupees car will have an insurance coverage, but your 20 lakh rupees prosthetic does not. Do you think it makes sense? I think it does not. It's crazy to live in a world where the demands that we have uh, are not met. I think as a united community that disability community is, in spite of having all these unity, I feel to see a change where we, our policymakers and change makers, they come together and understand our need, not in the base of, like, not in the basis of charity model, but on the basis of equality model or equity model, that every individual is different and every individual has a different need, and these needs have to be considered. So right now, if you know, currently, I really appreciate Election Commission of India. They know that this is one of the biggest population who does not go to vote because our polling stations were not accessible. But right now, few years, they have been making sure that all their polling stations are accessible for people with disabilities, so that that community goes and votes. When this community votes, and you know, to get my vote, somebody will have to promise me that these are the few changes I'll be making. If you don't want to make those changes, you do not get my vote. And if we all start demanding that these are the changes we wish to see, and if your party manifesto does not even have us on your agenda, then so sorry, my vote does not go for you. My vote goes only to the people who have us in their agenda. So I think that needs to change. Our politicians who uh, who help everyone. I think they need to consider us in their priority agenda, because you know what, we are one of the biggest vote banks, which is one of the most unexplored. We are like, you can go and do your own like whatever, there are multiple things people do to garner votes, but if you please us as a community, you are getting one of the best votes, and not from the disabled community but from everyone. If our politicians understand, our parties, political parties understand, I think it's going to be great. Other thing that I wish to, I wish to see that gap bridging is in the field of course, there are a lot of NGOs who are coming up, but we need more and more NGOs who help this. I wish there are no NGOs working, and there are a lot of policies in the government itself where everybody gets a chance, and you know there's no need for any non-governmental organization to come in between and bridge any gap. It should just be bridged through the government schemes and policies. So let our policymakers also do one crash course on disability rights and studies on the and also have policies for every person with disability. I'm not talking about sports person or athletes, but every person with disability, because mind you, we all have a power, that is our vote, and every Indian needs to exercise that vote, that power. More and more political parties, they understand this kind of power that we as disabled community have with accessible polling station. I think everybody can solve one of the biggest issues. Another thing which I'd like to iterate is taxation. There are a few positive policies also by the government, which are where they understand that yes, our medical equipments are expensive, our expense are also on our medicines, and some of the cost that we spend cannot cannot get reimbursed by a lot of other schemes that we have. So we have an exempt in income tax based on the percentage of disability we have. So for people with who are 80% and above disabled, they get an exemption of 1.25 lakh in their income tax, and other people less than I think it's less than 75. Yeah, I think 75 or 80. Uh, they get exemption of around 75,000. So which is a huge, uh, I mean, if, which is a huge cost to save, especially in income tax for people who are earning. Um, then there are multiple other schemes where when we want to become independent, we want to buy a vehicle, we also get 10% exemption in heavy by the heavy industries on taxes on a vehicle. So if your car is taxed at 28%, our car will be taxed at 18%. So I mean, there are some positive schemes also which help people with disability become more independent, spend less amount. I mean, at least if whatever amount of the money they are spending, they don't get taxed for it. As times are changing, as equipment qualities and everything is changing, I think we need more and more changes in terms of these policies, and new policies also needs to be made where more and more uh, support is being provided to people with disabilities.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that point of view. We can move ahead with a lot of uncoverings that needs to be done. But before that, let's take a pause and let's move on to the rapid fire round. So you have a very good love for the sports always since you were a child. You were school going girl, and you love the badminton and soccer. So what is that really motivates you to be the champion in badminton? I mean, what is that one word that I can say that that keeps reminding you that this is your sport?
The sport is smashingly good.
Smashingly good. Okay, there is a lot with the mind that you have to play on every day. So whenever we say mind hygiene, what is the next word, that comes to your mind? Mind hygiene.
I'll say mindfulness,
Support,
family.
great. And charity,
I I don't like the charity based model. So
great. And what do you mean by leadership?
expressing self and asking for what is yours or what is right.
Great. And that you have been doing for so long, not just for you, but you're representing the community where there was no voice so far, who has raised so many concerns, who have taken it legally to the Supreme Court or the right channels. You brought it up on the medias.
It's not like, no, no, no. There are many people. I won't say I'm the first or, I mean, there are people who have been working tirelessly and endlessly, dedicating their lives. So I don't want to take any credit.
That's so grateful to know that that you have bank of people representing it, but you still did it the way you should have whenever things came across to you, and hats off to you for that. And the last rapid fire question that I'd like to ask is, what does a retire means to you? Retirement means to you?
Retirement, I think I won't retire completely, not through sports. Maybe from the job that I'm doing, but like physical job that I'm doing, but I'll always keep on working in the field of disability till the time I'm in this world. So I think I'm not going to retire from this field at least.
Awesome. Awesome. And we need that kind of work to be done. I'm sure you leave a, a good impression, and I'm sure you will make, as everybody has said, you are a change maker. You're making the path for people to ease their life, and you have always been doing that, and you'll do it at a more impact level, and we see that. And we hope that that impact comes through, that you see through, you can live through, and you get that righteous treatments in every field that you're working, and passionately working. Not just you, but all the disabled athletes or disabled people who are excelling at their jobs, they should be treated equally. They should be getting the right benefits. So towards the end, I'd like to ask you one advice question. In the past entire week, and even in this week, we are seeing that there are a lot of brilliant minds into the software profession. That workforce is out due to some products were not doing good, the business were not meeting the right demands or profit level lines. So there are a lot of talent currently is out of job market, but they have skills, they have a lot of things that they can build on, they can solve too many problems through technology. Ideally, in the disability field, what is that one problem that you think the technology should be solving? And there should be more startups on those areas to bridge the gap and bring this disabled community to be more inclusive in this world. What is that problem that we can solve?
I think affordable prosthetics is one. That is like I won't say it's software also and it's hardware too. Um, Software in terms of having prosthetic knees which are microprocessor based or programmed for multiple walking and multiple walking patterns and algorithms. And these products are patented and thus are extremely expensive for anybody to procure. And we from India we spend money in rupees, whereas these items are uh, marketed and priced at in euros or US dollars. It's a huge, huge price that we have to pay. So I think that is one creation of affordable prosthetics in India, in-house, like Make in India project. Another will be like bridging the gap in dating life. A lot of people with disabilities, uh, people feel that they cannot contribute to family life or anything. But I know a lot of my friends who have children and they are doing just amazing and really well. So I think dating app for people with disabilities where they connect with everyone, or at least whatever dating apps are there, it should also mention if you want to talk about your disability, if you want to, and then connecting with more and more people. Another will be jobs. Many people with disabilities, as you said, many people have recently been laid off from their work, but they are extremely skilled in their own areas, and it's not their fault. Similarly, as people with disabilities, it's not our fault that we are disabled, but and we are extremely talented and skilled. It's just that there are very few jobs available where people with disabilities feel comfortable in applying. So even having that bridging of gap and connecting with recruiters. Another thing is skilling and reskilling of people with disabilities with whatever jobs are available in the market. Like in software, you know that everybody from engineering college goes through 1.5 or 2 months of skilling course by the company to make them ready for organization. So similar kind of courses for people with disabilities who wants to get recruited. I think that there are tens and thousands of plans and ideas for people with disabilities that can be imparted. I think having a one-stop solution to all your accessibility needs in under one roof, that is one idea. I mean, I I feel I'm stuck in the field of sports, and there are so many ways of improving the quality of life. If I were not a sports person, I would have found solutions to all these problems. But unfortunately, right now, sports take up most of my time in all these areas. But I wish to be one of the person solving at least one of the other problem. And another is just advocacy, like multiple people connecting together, advocating for whatever they feel is correct in their own area, be it in Kerala, in Jammu Kashmir, or somebody in Arunachal connecting. So I think even advocacy, group advocacy together, connecting with more and more disabled people and getting signatures of disabled people, like it's a group, connect together, get multiple signatures for the issues that you want to be highlighted to your local parliamentarian about
Yeah, those are like some of the great ideas you actually pitched. And if there are, there are a lot of gaps in the apps, as you said, dating apps, starting from dating app, these advocacy groups, or, bringing, as you said, the job seekers and these disabled people together, or for skilling up, or for training programs. There are a lot of things that can be solved. And there are some solutions that already exist, but there are solutions that needs to be highlighted. And I wish those products they technically come out very smarter to have it handled by all these people. And other the thing that I would like to see is, being ambassador for those products come, from people like you who are, advocating their own fields, and you are fighting for the rights. So in the mainstream, I wish to see people like you to come and advertise few things, and also earn your respect and money through that, like, how other sports people are gaining you can say it as a secondary or the passive income type, some royalty through the advertisements or some salary through the advertisement and things like that. I wish to see all that dream comes true. And these problems, which are very big problems for people who are not privileged into the families, who are having a good education, or who are very disconnected from the mainstream cities and into the rural areas, but they still exist. Those lives still exist. They need also the similar treatments and the improvements in their life. I wish that through this channel, we try to bring abroad the true problems that people are facing, and we are trying to bridge the gaps between these, the seekers and whoever can be the providers here. And I'm sure for all the techie peoples out there thinking about a lot of startup ideas, we have, provided some kind of seeds. And if you're planning to pick up one of these idea and going forward, uh, please do give credit to Manasi Joshi for giving that, and please have her on your board, so that you tune into their problems, and you gather the real world data through her and her community. Yeah, she's there for all of you. Feel free to connect her in the comment section. We'll be leaving her contact details through which you can approach her Facebook page, her Twitter, her LinkedIn accounts, where she's massively active, where she's, raising her own blog post versus having some media crafted post. She's thoroughly active by herself and she's advocating her community. And I wish all that she said, that is my wish, will come true. And all of us who are involved, who feel empathy for these people, who feel that the world should be inclusive, with their skill sets, with their talent, come together to solve these problems. Thank you, Mansi, for coming on the board, taking out your precious time. And, I know this was your restful week, that, you had to rest and recharge for your hard trainings and hard day schedules that goes on. I'm really honored to have you and so proud of you to bring that Arjuna Award home this year.
Thank you, Pranali. I'm really honored to be getting this year's Arjuna. And I've worked, like, as an athlete, it's one of the biggest recognitions from your national bodies or from your country. So I think I'm enjoying my time. Thank you for taking out time, having this conversation, asking the right questions, and talking on issues that are close to our community. Thank you for amplifying these through your channels and also giving an opportunity to me to be able to bring out all these points. Thank you to your platform, to your channel, and I wish your channel grows and grows. And I also wish we have more such conversations in future where we talk about issues which are closer to our heart. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mansi. Viewers, keep tuning into Women Special Express. If you know anyone we can bring onto this platform and uncover a lot of issues like we did today, feel free to drop us a message. We'll be taking your recommendation into the considerations and we'll take action to move ahead. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this show. Bye.